The real reason why women hate Sigma males. Hello everyone and welcome to One Male. First, let me ask you a question. Why do so many women seem to hate us? Is it our looks? Our personality? Or is there something else that we're doing wrong? Well, after years of experience in the dating world, I've finally figured out what it is. And in this video, I'm going to share it with you. So sit back and relax as I break it all down for you. We'll talk about why women despise Sigma men. I had never looked up the definition of a Sigma male before. However, after reading an item in Australia's Sydney Herald, I only did so about women complaining that YouTube was pushing Sigma male movies to young guys. If it irritates feminists, you know it's a good thing. But first, let's define what a Sigma male is. A Sigma male is a competent, self-sufficient, and introverted man who is challenging to manage. If you know anything about women, they want you to be independent but not think independently. I guess I've always been a Sigma male without even realizing it. I'm an introvert, and when ladies try to take over my life, I leave rather than bend the knee. I believe women are drawn to Sigma males because they want to break their spirits. They want to take a man they want for his independence and change him into a man they don't wish to, then blame him for changing. Sigma shares many characteristics with an alpha male, except that he prefers to live outside of society's dominating hierarchy. The concept is that Sigma males are uncommon, but the rise of the internet has enabled men to work anytime and everywhere, resulting in a rapid surge of men who refuse to submit to companies or women. Women are authoritarians who are incompatible with the Sigma guy who desires to do what he wants. They demand complete control over social conventions and ideals, and it irritates them that some men are devising ways to avoid their pearl-clutching hands. Aside from complaining that YouTube is showing young males videos about Sigma males, the Australian article claims that YouTube should do more to recommend videos to men to create the feminist future they desire. And that YouTube should not show men the videos women want them to see but rather the videos women want them to see. I believe they are concerned that Sigma guys are created rather than born. According to what I've read, Sigma males are introverts with a high openness personality trait because they are creative, keen to try new things, and want to do things their way. Because of their independent intellect, self-sufficiency, and capacity to rule their lives without relying on anything or anyone, most women are drawn to Sigma guys. I believe this is the case because they lack specific attributes and opposites attract. For example, women, for instance, women always say they want a man with a good sense of humor because they usually don't have one themselves. On the other hand, I believe women have a love-hate relationship with Sigma males. Women are drawn to independent men but must be transformed into subordinate ones in the clown world. It is equally critical to distinguish between a Sigma guy and an alpha male. Alphas are typically uncreative and impose their will on others, whereas Sigmas are typically laissez-faire and allow people to make their judgments. In addition, alpha males run in wolf packs surrounded by subordinate males, whereas Sigmas are lone wolves. The critical distinction appears to be the feature of openness in terms of personality and the fact that alphas need to dominate the social hierarchy, while Sigmas usually don't. Alphas are likewise irritated by Sigmas because they refuse to follow the rules and fit into the social structure. I did that for most of my life and was continually bullied by alpha guys to conform, but I kept my confidence and did what I thought was right. In my opinion, I believe actual successful Sigma males who march to the beat of their drum are pretty unusual. However, because it is difficult to make a living in this environment, most Sigmas must keep their heads down in business to avoid exposing their actual nature. I also don't think Sigma males are compatible with women in long-term relationships or when it comes to having children. They are introverted and like to be alone. Women prefer social gatherings that bring introverts significant anxiety. External validation is also not required for Sigmas. That means that women's condemning words won't work as well on them as women's compliments, and she'll have a hard time managing you. My own Sigma experience. The ladies that had the most sway over me were the silent ones because they kept their lips shut and created a sense of seclusion when in the thick of a relationship. Another reason Sigmas are incompatible with partnerships is that risk-takers and women desire safety. They are frequently misunderstood as snobs because they despise social conventions. Somehow, I suppose it's the assumption that Sigmas exude confidence. Still, there's no apparent justification for it because our society appears to believe that you can only be confident if you're at the top of the dominance hierarchy. I'm not interested in order, and if I were, it would probably drive me insane that I couldn't walk about telling people that I'm the same man. James Bond is a famous fictional Sigma man. But, again, he is not a Sigma man since he obeys British intelligence directives. The true Stigma would be the villains he battles, who aim to eliminate the entire human population and hierarchy. When I think of a Sigma male, I think of Clint Eastwood's portrayal of the man with no name in the Sergio Leone flicks, or possibly Han Solo. The guy with no name was a bounty hunter who tracked down wanted outlaws and returned their bodies in exchange for money. He worked as a freelancer on his own. That, I believe, is what Sigma is. A hired gun who takes on temporary jobs while keeping his independence. In my dating experience as a stigmatized male, women tried and gradually changed the stigma without his knowledge, but they didn't realize that they couldn't break his spirits in the end. They dupe him about what they wanted until it was too late and then try to change things back to how they were before they crossed the line. But if he had told them where that line was in the first place, they would have blamed him for it, so they ended up disliking him. When he ultimately abandoned them, there was something about the Sigma male that women, feminist governments, and corporations would never understand. He'd sooner shatter himself and wreck his own life than allow someone else to do it for him. That's why it resonates so strongly with the rise of Bitcoin, and I believe it's primarily held by Sigma guys who don't intend to sell it. They keep buying more and more, accumulating SATs purely on principle and without regard for the financial ramifications. They cannot be purchased or bargained with. Bitcoin might reflect millions of Sigma guys declaring, "We're done. We're going to break with the old financial hierarchical structure, and we're going to establish our own better, really equal one." Ironically, women and feminists oppose the stigma since it's a male term. It all comes down to equality. This should demonstrate to everyone that feminism has never been about equality. I feel that women acting like Sigmas and claiming to be strong and independent are simply attempting to play the role of the female chameleon to attract such a man in the first place. Unfortunately, if they find him and get their meat curtains on him, most won't know what to do with them. For the most part, Sigma males are assertive and independent while remaining silent. Feminist women are the ones that flaunt their huge chests while professing to be robust and independent. If you have to claim independence, chances are you haven't been for a long time. I hear pit articles about the MGTOWs of men's rights activists in jail. The Sigma man appears to be the latest addition to that list. A self-sufficient man who refuses to surrender his freedom and mind to ideological subversion is rare. It simply shows how much women in the state fear truly independent guys since they can't be bought or bargained with like a joker. Many of them want to watch the world burn. Women need free males to commit to providing a good life for women while also expanding their alternatives. The greater the number of Sigma guys in our culture, the greater the number of screaming single women. I read about them. They are popular, successful, clever, self-reliant, and introspective. The key to keeping them happy is understanding their need for space and not trying to dominate them. A relationship with a Sigma guy will only work if they are quiet, remote, and withdrawn, or if the women are high in trade openness and busy doing their own thing. Otherwise, women should not try because they will irritate themselves when rejected. There are Sigma females who are both traits open and introverted. Sigma implies combining the characteristic openness of the significant 5 personality types with introversion. Anyways, if you're curious about the recent life of Demi Lovato, her transformation, and what her initial motives are, be sure to take a look at my latest video where I shared some information that you may want to know in order to understand more about the woke culture and how powerful they can be in making a person relevant.